Today I fucked up by using oil instead of lube. Throw away ACC for obvious reasons. So today was actually about a week ago. I was going to do anal for the first time and didn't have any lubricant. I didn't want to buy any because I am very socially awkward and being at the checkout with a bottle of lube would kill me internally. I did a few Google searches and found out that canola oil should work, so I tried it. A few minutes in it started to hurt and get very tight, so I stopped. The day after it hurt like absolute hell, so I went to see a doctor. Turns out I have some sort of allergic reaction to something in the canola oil and my anus was swollen for multiple days. The swelling has gone down, but it still hurts like absolute hell, and don't even get me started on going to the toilet. Edit. For the people wondering how I haven't noticed the allergy before, to quote you, Atigurks33, because they explained it best. Op may have what normally is a mild allergy to canola oil. So minor they don't even notice it. But when they're soaking some of the most sensitive skin on their body and the mucous membranes inside the rectum for a prolonged period and then adding friction, well, that minor allergen can suddenly cause a major reaction. Too long did not read. Used canola oil instead of lube for anal. Had an allergic reaction, anus swollen, hurt like hell. Just order a big old pump bottle of lube off of Amazon. CVS self-checkout FTW. Baby oil or lube my person. Nothing else should touch thy brown starfish of glory. Have not ever eaten canola oil before? AKA rapeseed oil. Sounds like you consented, but your body didn't. Today I fucked up by alienating a group of people by telling them what I do for a living. It was my first day traveling around Spain and I went to the kitchen to meet some new people in the hostel I'm staying in. I don't find meeting new people the easiest thing, but I try really hard to be nice and funny and usually do okay. I was getting along great with a group of about 8 people, even cracked some jokes which landed really well. A couple of these guys were employed by the hostel to take groups out drinking every single night, and I could sense their fatigue at being in this crowd, so I was making an extra effort to make interesting conversation with them. Then someone asked what I do for a living, and I told them, I'm an animator. I got the reaction that I usually get, very positive. My job usually helps as an icebreaker because people are so interested in what I do, and the guys in charge of taking us out even revealed that they were animators as well. Then someone asked me, "Where are you an animator?" Slightly odd phrasing, I thought, but they were Spanish after all, English isn't their first language. I told them I was an animator on kids' TV shows in the UK, preschool, kindergarten, shows mainly. When I revealed this, the mood in the room went suddenly cold, like I had just said something really awkward. Stone silence. Everyone suddenly looked away, and started having different conversations. The guys in charge said, "Oh, that kind of animator. We thought you were an animator like us." And then they looked at each other as if hoping that the other would think of something to say or change the topic. I was so confused. I thought, I know animating for kids' telly isn't the coolest kind of animation job out there, but I didn't think it was considered that lame. Maybe it's looked down on here in Spain? After that I found it really hard to strike up a conversation with anyone. Everyone seemed like they didn't want to talk to me. I thought maybe they were all just socially awkward and I hadn't realized earlier? Maybe I'm more socially awkward than I realize? After all, I hadn't hung out with anyone for a little while since most of my friends are all over the world right now. This thought stuck with me and I ended up getting really nervous and actually started being much more self-conscious and socially awkward than I usually am. When we got to the second bar of the night I was really not having fun, but before I left I decided to ask the other animators. Are children's TV animators really looked down on here in Spain? And they told me it wasn't something that they'd ever heard of someone doing. Maybe people assume you're a bit odd for choosing that career. I said, come on, it's not that strange. What kind of animation do you do? And one of them said, we take people out, get them drunk, get them home or whatever. I stared at him for at least 5 seconds trying to work this out. He definitely hadn't misheard me. I said, does animator mean something different here? No, it's like, entertaining people, making them happy, getting them drunk. It turns out in Spain, animator, or animator, means entertainer, and these other animators thought that me saying I was an animator on kids' TV meant I was Barney the Purple Dinosaur or some very happy, smiley, over-the-top jester for toddlers. I even had to explain by miming and sketching in the air and saying, Disney, Pixar, hand-drawn, cartoons, before they finally got it. And these guys spoke good English. I asked them what their term for that in Spanish was, and after considering for a few seconds they said, "Animator, I guess." Computer animator, I discovered after more questioning, would have been the only way they would have understood me without question. After they realized their misunderstanding, they were all suddenly bubbly and enthusiastic and full of questions about my job. Unfortunately, I was exhausted by being a social pariah all night and, to be honest, thought that even if I had been a children's entertainer, their attitude was totally unfair, like a clique of cool kids at a high school shunning the kid who likes magic. So I left. Too long did not read. I am a 2D hand-drawn animator for kids' TV and tried to make friends in Spain with this fact. In Spain, kids animator means something closer to a birthday clown or Barney the Purple Dinosaur, and I got shunned for a whole night due to the language barrier. It seems pretty rude to judge a person for being a children's entertainer, especially when they're basically paid escorts. I'm from Spain and this strikes me as very odd. I would say don't overthink about it too much. It seems they pre-judged you for some reason. Reading it, I also thought it was a kid party animator kind of thing, but what's wrong with that? There are a few famous ones in Spain for kids too. I must say that a drawing animator is a much more cool job. They were assholes, either way. Totally not your foo, but theirs for being close-minded like you said. Just because you're a different type of animator, doesn't mean they should have given you a cold shoulder. If you're still in Spain, I hope you bump into a nicer group of people. Being socially awkward and interacting with mean people sucks, but you got this heart. Maybe they've seen Peppa Pig. An elderly Spanish tourist is lost in JFK Airport in New York and wants to ask for directions. He searches his rudimentary understanding of English, briefly consults his pocket dictionary, and goes up to the young lady at the information desk. "Excuse me, could I molest you for a moment?" Cross-cultural misunderstanding happens a lot. In the hypothetical anecdote above, the man wanted to ask for directions, but molestar in Spanish just means bother, while molest in English is very different. If you assume your Spanish friends thought you were a pedophile at first, their frigidity towards you makes a lot more sense. Today I fucked up by scarring my dad for life. I, 25 female, live with my fiancé, 28 female. We went to the beach for a few days, and my dad came over to take care of the dogs. On the evening of the second night, the dogs had gotten diarrhea. They pooped all over our bedroom. Well, my dad cleaned it up and went into our bathroom to dispose of the mess. Lo and behold, a giant dildo met his gaze. Suctioned to the back of the toilet, our good friend left my dad scarred for life. He later went home and told my mother about his finding. When we got home, my mom said, "I have a secret." I was like, "Okay, what is it?" And that is when she enlightened me on my father's demise. She said he told her, they have a giant dick in their bathroom. I didn't see any straps, I thought it needed straps. My poor innocent father is now forever changed. Too long did not read. My dad stumbled upon my dildo in the bathroom, leaving him forever changed. Vietnam flashback. I thought it was supposed to have straps. Like. How giant are we talking here, op? It's time for you to have the birds and the bees and sexy toys talk with dad. Honeybee. Buy him one for his birthday. But get one with straps. Suctioned to the back of the toilet. Sue. Do you leave it there as a joke, or is that action position? Because that seems unsanitary. I seriously don't understand why people are emphasizing stuff like this. It's just natural. My Phil was helping us when we moved. He was unloading the truck and suddenly he held my GF's vibrating dildo in his hand. It somehow turned itself on. He just laughed, turned it off and put it back. It was really funny.